All right, guys, so today we're gonna check out two different speakers from Skullcandy, which it's really hard to tell the difference between one over the other, and that is the Skullcandy Kilo and the Skullcandy Ounce. Now, the Ounce is the slightly smaller of the two, where the Kilo is basically just 0.3 inches taller and 0.25 inches wider. They have the same depth. They're really not much different as far as the size goes. And these two speakers are basically meant to be with you on the go, because the Ounce, the smaller of the two, has a fabric lanyard right at the top, where the Kilo has a fabric lanyard that also has a little clip, which makes it easy to just kind of clip on your bag. Now, the price difference on these, now the pricing is just kind of all over the place, depending on where you're looking at it. I have the XT models, which are the ones from Walmart, which are really the same things that you're going to buy on Amazon. They just don't have the XT slapped on the end. And the Ounce comes in at $29 regular retail price. I've seen it for $24, and right now on Walmart site, it's actually only $19, where the Kilo comes in normally retailing at $39, where I've seen it at $34 sometimes. And right now on Walmart site, you can get it for $31. So the price kind of fluctuates, but at any given moment, they're really about $10 to $12 difference. And the Kilo is the more expensive model, and we'll get into the differences on these. But let's go ahead and start with the design and the build quality, because they're both, again, fairly small. They're made to be carried with you on the go, or clipped on the bag, or clipped on your shorts or something. They both have an identical fabric front. They're both using the 3-button system on the front. You do get controls over everything. It's really easy to control this right here. On the back, they both are using a downward firing passive radiator, which is how you can kind of feel the impact of bass. You can see this on the Ounce, where on the Kilo, it's actually covered with fabric, the same fabric material that's on the front. So on the back of these, you definitely can tell a design difference. And again, you can tell the difference with the clip on one, and then one just having that fabric loop. Now, the only other design difference is on the bottom, located next to the USB-C charging port. Now, this is how you charge these, but on the Ounce, you see a single battery indicator light, where on the Kilo, it actually has 4 lights. So you can tell a little bit more, how your battery life is going to be on the Kilo with those 4 lights, as opposed to the one with the Ounce. In battery life, there is a difference, because on the Ounce, you can get about 16 hours on a full charge, where with the Kilo, you can actually get around 24 hours. So there is a slightly larger battery in the Kilo compared to the Ounce, and you can feel a slight weight difference, and that's because of the larger battery here and the slightly bigger build of the Kilo over the Ounce. But other than that, they both have Bluetooth 5.3. They both come in rated at IPX7 waterproof. So again, they are made to be with you pretty much all the time, and they can withstand if you actually happen to submerge them into water. Now, as far as accessories and what they come with, they do only come with a USB-C charging cable. It does come with some Skullcandy stickers here, and then it just comes with your little smart guide, which there's really not much to learn here. The 3-button system is pretty easy. The middle button is your power button. That is also your play and pause, where the plus and the minus is your volume control and also your track control. So there's no different EQ settings to switch between. These are not like feature-rich speakers. These are made to be used in the shower. They're made to be used on the go. And from a sound standpoint, there's not much of a difference between the two of these. I would say that there is slightly more bass impact in the Kilo over the Ounce, although it's hardly noticeable. Let's go ahead and do a quick comparison. I'm gonna play the exact same song from both speakers. I'm gonna have the microphone exactly the same distance from both of these, and really see if you could just tell a difference between one over the other. And I can kind of tell you now there's not much of a sound difference, but go ahead and listen to both samples here. feel like the ounce, there is a ton of value here being able to pick it up for $19. But I am gonna say with Bose speakers, it really depends on what it is you listen to. Now, if you're listening to just mainstream pop or hip hop, things where it's fairly simple, it's not gonna be as congested, there's not a lot going on, that's where these speakers really stand out. I think where they start to kind of drop the ball is definitely in genres like metal or rock or anything where there's just a lot going on. These speakers definitely can get a little confused, and it definitely gets congested when there's a lot going on. It's not one of those where you can pick apart a lot of details. You can, again, on simpler genres, but as soon as guitars come in with drums and the bass and vocals, it starts to just get a little bit mushy, and that's kind of to be expected in speakers this size. I mean, I'm not expecting these to just blow me away by any means, but I have heard smaller speakers like the JBL Clip that can separate sounds a little bit better, where I do feel like the Skullcandies actually have a little bit better bass response. So again, if you're not somebody that listens to rock or metal, or, you know, again, any genre where there's a lot going on, this is a great alternative to the Clip. The JBL Clip is a more expensive speaker. I especially feel like the ounce has a ton of value at the $20 price tag, where the Kilo, I really just feel like the only thing that you're paying the difference on is having that slightly better battery life. I don't feel like there's much of an advantage when it comes to the sound quality. I think these both sound really almost identical. So I don't really see there being any reason to recommend the Kilo over the ounce, especially given the fact that you can get the ounce for $19. And the Kilo, you know, being a little bit more, having that clip is a little more convenient. But is it $10 to $12 more convenient just to have that clip on the top? Maybe it is, I don't know. But if you have carabiners, you can easily just clip that onto the fabric loop that the ounce already has. And as far as from a value standpoint, the ounce is much better. And then going back to the sound, I think you always have to kind of curb your expectations based off what you're spending. These are not, you know, $100+ speakers. I've seen some very expensive speakers in the small form factor, but you can tell the sound difference between those and then something like this. This is not made to blow you away. This is not made to fill a large room. It's made to just be clipped with you. And I can say, especially when it's clipped on you and that passive radiator probably already kind of leaning up against you, that also helps add to that bass impact. So I was very pleased with these. I definitely see the value. I can see the appeal in both of these. In typical Skullcandy fashion, you can get a ton of different colors. So there's a lot of options to choose from. And I see that most of the options are on Amazon, where I do find that that speaker is a little bit more expensive on Amazon compared to Walmart. And again, that's because Skullcandy having that XT lineup with Walmart, I think is making it a little bit more affordable in Walmart stores. That's probably some kind of deal they have worked out. I'm not really sure. I'm not in the loop there. So yeah, my overall conclusion is go into this expecting to get about what you're paying for. Don't expect these to compare to $100+ speakers. They're not feature rich in any means, but the Bluetooth 5.3 made them really good with watching media. There wasn't any kind of lag or anything there. There's really good connectivity. The battery life is very good in speakers this size. Again, if you need the extra battery life, obviously go with the Kilo, but outside of that, there's really nothing pushing you to buy the more expensive speaker, especially when it comes to the sound quality, where the ounce can definitely hold its own. In fact, it's pretty much the same as the Kilo. But guys, that's my video on the Skullcandy ounce and the Skullcandy Kilo speakers. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.